Hello, hello, hello. Hello,
Shit.
Captain Rios. Good to see you.
Captain G.
Goddamn right. That's what the G stands for, kids. Hey, enough of the bullshit. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of This Is the Future.
Unfortunately.
Hey-o! Got a little spice. I like it. All right.
What's up, everybody?
Doing well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just ran over you like a speed bump.
That's all right, man. That's what we do here, right?
That's right. Well, for all you cats and kittens out there watching it, thanks. Hope you're enjoying the heat. There's plenty more to come. I'm not a weatherman, but I know what's happening.
Yeah, it is not hot here anymore, so that's good.
Fucking right on, man. Yeah, but not. I mean, I hear tell from the news entities that there's quite a few fires are burning where you guys are at.
You know what? Yeah, probably. But I never, unless it's bad like last year. I mean, I'm not trying to like be a dick or anything, but ever since I was a kid, Oregon every year is on fire. Part of it, the West Coast every year. So like, I mean, I'm not trying to like make it sound like it's not a big deal, which it is, because last year it got really bad. It like the fire crept into the city, like, you know, like
right.
Little towns around Portland where it had to be evacuated, and we packed in like an oh shit bag just in case we had to leave, you know.
Yep.
But like ever since I was a kid, the forest is always on fire. So I'm like, oh yeah.
So what you're saying here, what I'm gathering, is that the people who do the news nationally are definitely interviewing the wrong people. Because if they interviewed guys or people like you, it wouldn't be you'd be more realistic. You know, like, I've lived there my whole life. Shit's always on fire. If you see me with an oh shit bag and this cute little ball of fur on fire, there's a fucking problem. Mm-hmm. That's a good way to do a news report. I would be like, all right, they're okay. And then in September, be like, we're fucking leaving. Like, it's bad. It's really bad.
Right. But you know how it is. Like the news doesn't want to report on anything that has like an okay conclusion. You know, like, yeah, we're fine. They need, you know, drama. Lightning, dinosaurs, thunder. They need like oh shit moments. You know, they need like the fucking shit's on fire. Hurricane Melissa.
Oh, that's that hurricane, Stacy. I just got pregnant from it. Okay, that's pretty bad.
that hurricane owes me child support. God damn it.
I literally got fucked. We need to be doing the news and weather, like our own news and weather station. Like we're on different sides of the country. It'd be great, you know. Like people are still getting shot here, and people still don't notice the smoke where you are. It's great. It's great all the time. It's great.
I was part of like a sketch writing like team for a second, and the idea was write like a Weather Channel skit, and my segment of it was going to be like me in like really bad conditions, like getting hit with like snow and hail and like a chair, and I'm just going to be staring at the like. All right, back to you, Alex. Like
yeah, I mean, you don't have to say anything, right?
You're just being hit with like a chicken and wind and just like.
Or I just pictured you kind of standing there, like it's a beautiful day, but you don't say anything again. But you're just standing there. It's a beautiful day, and then it's just staring into the camera, and then all of a sudden you just get hit because you're in traffic, like oof, and then that's it. Cut. We got it. We got what we need.
We got what we were looking for. Traffic is traffic.
Yeah, right. It's beautiful out here unless you're standing in the middle of the road. Then it sucks. Bad for the old ankles. My dad, speaking of news really quick, my dad and I went and shot pool last week, and it's one of the only pool halls that's still around the area. The guy that runs the place prefers, or you need to call him by his name. His name is Sniff.
Sniff.
And I did ask around him. I asked him, why Sniff? And to which he said, you gonna pay for your fucking pool game or not? And I was like, all right, okay. So come to find out, Sniff made a really good living with the snow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Big snow dealer back in the day. Sniff's a good guy, seriously, but it's the only pool hall I've been in where you walk in the front door and he's in his lazy boy with his foot up, just like this, like, what's up? I'm just like, hi. TV's on, there's two lazy boys, and if you squeeze in between the two lazy boys, you can get into the pool hall that's right behind him. And it's just really like, this is my house. This was built on drug money, and fuck you. Like, oh, good spot. So we'll take that table over there. Thanks. So he has the TV on, right? And at first, like the reception's really bad. So it's like, it's just, and there's signs everywhere that say no music. It's like, so I'm not the first person to think I'm going to turn my phone on because this sucks.
Right.
Can't do that. Fine. So eventually he lands on the news. And I have not watched the news in a really long time.
Okay.
I know why people are miserable now. Holy smokes. It's the same tired stories every hour. They just put a new twist on it or have a different knucklehead telling you the story. God damn, I've never been so sad while playing a game in my life. I was just like, oh, I got it in, but I'm still depressed. It was very weird. News and games, they don't mix. But
yeah,
it's like you know, I really, I don't watch that. Stop that. I know the news will never tell you that, but stop that. That's bad for you. Ugh. There's 10 news stations at least 24 hours a day. Nothing positive going on. On Instagram, there's actually something called like positive news. Like, kid found a kitten today. I don't know if that really happened or not, but I'm sure somebody found a kitten today. That's good news. You know, that's fine. I'm just scrolling through, you know, that's nice. Or someone dropped their groceries and someone else picked them up. It's a nice story.
It's a good story unless that kitten was like trying to take a walk and that kid was like, it's my cat, it's a cat. And then the cat's like, I'm going to walk, trying to watch my weight, you know? And you fucking
yeah. I already have an owner.
You let the cat talk, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but if the cat was stealing a kitten, then it would be on CNN. Like, we have viral footage.
I was talking to a friend a couple of days ago about the news, and I was saying I don't believe being ignorant to things in the world in general is a good thing, but I choose on purpose to be slightly ignorant in certain ways of my life, and really only one way, and that is when it comes to the news. When it comes to the news, if it's bad enough, I'll fucking hear about it. Like, I heard about COVID right when everyone else did.
Got that memo. Didn't never watch a news story on it.
I did not hear it on the news, and I heard it exactly when everyone else heard about it. I just think it's like the news has turned into like political shit. Like, if you're a Republican, you watch like Fox News. Yeah, if you're a liberal, you watch fucking CNN or whatever, and if you're in the middle, you watch ABC, and it's just like, I don't know. In the fucking words of George Carlin, it's all bullshit and it's bad for you.
You're goddamn right.
I think you could probably take some good away from a little bit of all of it, some more than others, but I just choose. I'll read an article here and there from certain places, but I don't want to get anything that has to do with the world directly off of Instagram, Facebook, or the real news. I'll read the local paper from time to time to see what's going on, or the Oregonian, but I choose on purpose to be slightly ignorant when it comes to the news.
Right. Hell yes. And what the kind of news that I like isn't news to most people. I follow, as everybody knows, I would ride a fuckload of roller coasters, and I dig music. So Google eventually figures out that I'm just a pothead and starts sending me those kinds of articles. So I've been really interested in the fact that half of the Six Flags parks have had bad experiences with rides lately. That's entertaining to me. I want to know that. I'm still going to go because I want to see something bad happen in a good place. But I like that line. As soon as I said that, I was like, That's funny. I want to see something bad happen. Any fucking way, I crack myself up. But like as an example, my favorite park, well, not my favorite park because it's New Jersey, and there's nothing, no one has a favorite anything in New Jersey. That's fucking crazy. But gotcha. Couple of roller coasters I like there. Breaking down, a wheel fell off. Like one, which is kind of awesome. I say it, I just laugh. It's kind of like roller skates. You don't want the back wheel to fall off a roller skate. You don't want the back wheel to fall off a coaster on the train. So anyway, the best ride they have at the one in Jersey is broken, and it's so broken that they're like, we don't have any fucking idea when it's going to be fixed. So anyway, that's happening all across the country at these different Six Flags. But one that got me was, I'm sitting there, I'm actually at work, and I'm reading this article, shows you how involved I am in my job. Yeah. I'm reading this article, and it says something about, I don't, fuck the headline, but basically, chemicals at water park, people are fucked up. And I was like, what? And the customer was like, yeah, that's what's wrong with my phone. I'm like, I don't fucking, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I'm like, chemical burns. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? It just, they'll never say what happened. So that's all you need to know. 26 people got evacuated from a water park ride because their chemicals, they were saying basically it was like sulfuric acid, like a small amount of sulfuric acid. So people were really getting itched and burned and all this good shit. Oh yeah. Yeah, that happened. Wait, I can tell you that I know of Six Flags in Texas, and they sent everybody home that day. That's where it was. That's the fact. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. The internet threw you under the bus. Sorry, Six Flags. Right. But in any case, that's exciting. You know what I mean? It's like when you're going up that, like when you go to a water park or you go to a ride, the sign says all this list. If you're pregnant, if you're stupid, all this thing, you probably shouldn't ride this ride. Like
that'd be fucking great if you're pregnant, if you're stupid, can't read good. Do not.
Well, I mean that anyway. So the whole thing is like, yeah, it's like, but what it doesn't say, and this is the most fun part, everyone has that at least 1% of fear in the back of your mind. You know, you're like, something could happen here. And it's never going to be on that list of shit they tell you that could happen. It doesn't say at the bottom, a fucking wheel could fall off. But obviously it could because it did. So it should be on the list. Bold letters, this shit has happened. We've had stupid people, we've had phones, and we've had wheels fall off. This shit could happen to you. We don't actually inspect the rides. Actually, that's all it needs to say. Right below stupid, we don't actually inspect these rides. Like, that would be great. But that's what's fun. So when you're on a ride and someone's like, oh my God, I'm really scared. I've never been on this before. And you're in the back, you're like, hey, a wheel fell off last week. Like, this is a great ride. And they're like, they start crying and you're laughing. That's what I'm talking, like, that's fun. That's actually, so if you're getting ready to ride a water slide and you're like, hey, we could get chemical burns. Like, fuck, that's not on the sign. Like, this is fun. Like, shit, yeah. I mean, here's the funny part. That water park got closed for the day or whatever, right? Because here's what happened. Some knucklehead's like, which chemical? Okay. There's a bunch of chemicals back there. They thought it was chlorine. It turns out it's sulfuric acid. Whatever. Why the fuck is sulfuric acid at a water park? I have no fucking idea. But Timmy got it wrong, threw it in there because they're telling people to go back to work. Timmy was making an extra $300 a week. He didn't want to work at Six Flags.
Oh, fuck no.
But now he's like, fuck it, a jug's a jug, and we go.
That's something that you should live by. A jug's a jug. You know
a jug's a jug. I'm excited right now. It seems like there's a lot of employees out there that don't know how to do their new job that they didn't want. And because of that, things are breaking all over the place. And then it's rides. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. Hey, you take the whole family to a thing like that. Get an extra couple of, jumps in your heart rate. That's great. So that's good news. That's news worth reading because then you're like, I'm going to Six Flags. The place is fucked up. This is great.
I was going to ask you how you're doing, but I think you're doing pretty good.
I'm all right now, man. I get bored.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I think this is Tony G in his element.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, I'm all right, man.
It's good. You look good.
All right. Hey. How have you been over there? I'm sweating. I'll calm down. How have you been?
I've been fine. I did see that movie that you saw a couple weeks ago, Quiet Place 2.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I watched that in the theater, which was cool because first time I've been into a movie theater at least in a year and a half, if not longer. I mean, I don't know when's the last time I saw a movie. It might have last time I saw a movie might have been Quiet Place, so it could have definitely like 2 years or longer.
I'm back.
Yeah, I can't remember the last movie I saw, but anyway, yeah, it's a good movie. It's good shit.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I always think of when I'm watching these movies, I'm definitely watching and I'm engaged, but I'm also thinking about what if this happened in real life, like this really happened where there was a bit like a bunch of people died, there was this fucking monster, it killed like everything, and like you couldn't talk or it would show up and fuck you up. I realized I was like, I'd have to mercy kill my dog. Like, think about it. You can't tell a dog just not to bark. Like it's gonna fucking bark. So it's like, well, do we all die because this dog saw something in the bush? No, or do we just go, well, I think we have to make an executive decision and kill this dog.
Oh no.
She's laying right next to me. She has no idea that I'm talking about this.
She
but I'm
fucking
thinking
knows.
I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, that sucks. But that's what I think I'd have to do that. That or I'd just be like, slit both her throats or just let her bark and then hug her and then the thing would kill us. Like, I don't know. Like, you would have to make a decision, right?
Well, see, yeah, I could see with a dog, like dogs are loyal, so they would stick around. Like they would bark, they would try to fend off the demons for you or whatever, you know. Then you all would get fucked up, right? But I'm a
Yeah.
cat person, so I see your point. I do. I mean, that's the sad thing to say, but yeah, I see your point.
Yeah.
But as a cat person, a cat would just simply say, would just go meow, meow until something showed up to kill everyone, and then the cat would be fucking gone because those things are fast. They're not stupid and they're not loyal. They're just yelling at you because they want the good food. That's it. They don't know there's demons around. They don't give a shit. They probably think you're a demon who's feeding them food. They don't care. They'll gladly switch sides if they have the good food. So yeah, dogs. That's a fucking shitty point, but yeah, that's sad.
It's sad, but like that's what I'm thinking when I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, because I think about almost everything in a realistic way. I'm like, what would I do? Like when I watch Terminator, I'm like, I think the robots are AI is eventually going to take over in real life in our lifetime. What would I do? You know what I mean? So I'm like, I just like, I know it's fucking sad what I just said about mercy kill the dog, but that's what goes on in my head when I watch these movies, and I'm like, it wouldn't fucking work. It just wouldn't work, you know.
I wonder if a lot of like I saw in the second one, there's a dude who's just on his own, you know, and he was fine, like until someone came around, he was fine.
Yeah,
and I get that. He's like, God damn it, you assholes! I was doing great in this abandoned shithole, like living in this fucking gutter that no one knew about, having a miserable existence. But now I have to help you all.
You and your stupid baby had to come over here and fuck it up for me.
This would have been a real quick movie if you assholes didn't show up.
Yeah. Fuck. Over here drawing pictures of my kid drinking.
Yeah, I was doing this shit before this happened. It was great.
Having a weird beard. Like, it's fucking fun.
This has been going on for 2 years up there with the monsters. I've been down here for 7. Okay, this is nothing new to me. You're fucking up my life being here. Just so you know, this is my furnace. If you haven't seen the movie, none of this is going to make sense, but you should check it out.
That's the way exactly how he looked. He was just like, man, this is the shit. I like it.
I know. It's like, did you guys bring any groceries? You know.
Yeah, you got to bring your own beer. All right, come on.
Yeah, tell me you have a can of Didn't anymore. I've been craving that shit. Just tell me you brought some.
But overall, it was a good movie, and I'm sorry to bum everyone out about that. But sometimes you got to talk about how you actually think, and that's how I actually think when I'm like, man, I have to do that. But anyway,
That's heavy, man. I mean, that's cool because when I look at a movie like that, I forget I have pets. I'm not thinking about that shit. Like, it's just me.
dude, that's what movies and music do to me. It makes it like I start to listen to it or watch it, and I just go, I just like the wheels just go, and I'm like, it like, and I think that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to like make you think and send you into like your own little world, and you
Right.
know, like that's what I was just like, man, what would I do? Like, but
That's fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, you can't help how you think. And then now it's a good point. There aren't any animals in that, are there?
there's none. Well, in the first, the second movie, there is in the very beginning.
Yeah, before the shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Like the beginning of the second one yeah, I liked it because
yeah.
they were talking and shit. Yeah, not gonna
Um,
try and ruin the movie for anybody. Honestly, I saw it when I was high, so I don't remember how it ends anyway. So don't fucking worry about
good
it.
ending. It's good ending. I the John Kaczynski or whatever
Yeah,
happened
yeah, yeah.
from
Dude
the
from The
office,
Office.
or Jim, not John. Whatever. I don't know. It's J name Kaczynski. You know he is. He's from the office. Plays
Yeah,
Jim. He's
he wrote
tall.
that shit, right?
Yeah, wrote it. That's it. His wife's in the movie too.
Really?
Emily. I
Emily
forget.
Blunt?
Yeah, pretty sure they're married.
I mean, you really shouldn't date your coworkers, folks. I mean, I'm just saying, you got to go to fucking work together. I don't know. Do what you want, but I don't understand it. If I was famous, I'd definitely date somebody who didn't, just somebody who worked at Walmart. Be easy, you know.
Right.
Do you know me? No, sir. Great. We're married. There you go.
We're married. Yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah,
No shit.
they're doing it.
Hmm. Right on. Congratulations, I guess. That's cool. No, man, that's some good fucking movies. I'm gonna throw something out just because I happen to remember the title of it, and it blew my mind. It really did. Maybe it's on fucking Amazon. I don't know. Something. Black Hat. The movie, yeah, it's from 2000. I just feel like these streaming services are good at finding shit that I missed, or they have it, and So anyway, this is a hidden gem in my eyes. It's called Black Hat. The guy that plays, forgive me, I'm not good with names. The guy who plays Thor,
Chris Hemsworth.
Hemsworth. That's it. This was like the beginning, like probably one of his first like big roles, and it's basically he's a hacker that gets recruited by the government to hack the hackers. Really shitty synopsis, but there's a lot of good fucking like action twists in there I didn't see coming. You see a lot of action movies, you know what to expect. Like, oh, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. No. Every way somebody died, they died real bad in a real good way. It was. I was like, all right. So if you're screwing around, you're looking for something to watch, check out Black Hat with Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
Good movie. Yeah, it's
Black.
something to watch. But there was another one. If I find it, I'll throw it up there. There's okay, I'll just here. While I'm thinking of it, I suck with names. But the girl from Guardians of the Galaxy that played the Green Alien, her,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Anyway,
don't know her name.
she's in some. You'll find it out. It's the last couple came out a couple of years ago. But she plays kind of like The Professional. Remember, you see the movie The Professional,
Yeah,
where the
yeah,
girl
yeah.
became a professional killer.
Yeah.
It was actually, I think it was kind of written by the same people or some shit. Anyway, she plays the
Oh,
lead
really?
role in that and just fucks people up. And
Nice.
that is more of a clever name than I could remember. But anyway, you can tell I sit around and watch really mellow, Hallmark films in my downtime. But yeah, there's some good shit out there if whatever.
Yeah.
If any of you people, anybody watching this has any suggestions for movies or music, throw them. I'll definitely listen to it. I'll definitely check it out. Music's different. Well, that's our point. But movies, any movie suggestions, throw them our way. We're down because I'm tired of scroll. I spend as much time looking for something as I do watching it. I go through like 4 streaming services every night before I find something to watch.
Oh, for sure. I was thinking the other day, like, because sometimes I'm watching like Netflix or Hulu or whatever,
Yeah.
and like, and I'm watching it, and then sometimes my eyes wander, and I look at all my DVDs that I never watch, and I'm like, man, I should watch a DVD. And then I get really lazy and I'm like, man, that means I have to get up to watch a movie. I got all these, like, I got thousands of shows and movies. I could just say, I don't have to get up. I can just do this. And I think that's like all the streaming services. And I was talking to another friend and he said the same thing. Actually, he's the one that brought it up. I'm like, yeah, I do that all the time. Like, he's like, I just feel lazy to watch any DVDs now because I'm like, they're all the way over there. I can just like, you know, like you have to get up to like,
oh yeah,
DVD. And then I look at my DVDs and I get sad. I'm like, I used to watch all of you. Now I don't.
I have my DVD collection in my room, so when I go to bed at night, I throw a DVD in. It's
right.
That's what I pass out to. But the one thing that I think I haven't done on purpose, but I've gotten really close to, and have done by accident, rent something on Amazon that I sure as shit have already purchased, and it's sitting right there. But who wants to unplug the cable from the DVD player and plug in? You know, you don't want to do that shit. You don't want to fucking no. So I don't do that. Like, I really don't do that on purpose, but I've done it at least once or twice. Then finally you buy the shit on Amazon and then you go and you're like, and I've done this. I bought a movie on Amazon and then and then like forgot I bought it on Amazon and then go to watch it on Amazon, like to pay for it again, you know, like, oh, I'm watching it again. They'd be like, oh, it's free. Oh, it's free this time. And then like someone will be with me like, no, dude, you own that shit. Be like, oh, all right. Thank God Amazon won't let you buy shit twice. That's what
well, they know.
You bought Pulp Fiction 7 times. Like, fuck.
Listen, we're greedy, but like, you know, come on. It's all right. You can have some.
Maybe he's blind. This isn't right.
Right. I like a couple birthdays ago, I bought Callie the full like collection of her favorite show, like every season on DVD. And then she's like, oh, cool, thanks. And then hasn't opened it because she's just been watching it on Hulu. Oh, like, God damn it. I was trying to be, it's sitting next to all the other DVDs, the plastics around every single one. She was like, thank you. Yeah, I like it. Watches it on Hulu. I'm like, God.
Too bad I'm already halfway through that shit.
God damn it. Like, I was trying to be fucking nice because I know your favorite show and like, or one of them. And like, you know, I'm like, here's like, you know, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to buy every season of a show, you know?
No.
Even
you know,
a show
I was
like,
thinking it would be a good gift for two people, like for the person. For me, this is how I think. Like, fine, if you're gonna if there's nothing to get anybody, then I'll get you an Amazon gift card, like the physical gift card with like the 20-digit code on the back that you have to type in with an Xbox controller or a shitty remote. You got to click 3 times because then I'm giving you money that you might use at some point, but you spend 20 minutes doing it because it's a pain in the ass to get the credits. You know what I mean? That's like the only, I want to keep you busy for 20 minutes. You're already going to watch Amazon. So whatever.
Yeah. I'm giving you something to do.
Right. I mean, this lasts longer than a scratch it. That's for sure.
Fucking name.
That's fucking fun. That's a good point though. Yeah. It's hard to buy gifts for people now. It's like, hey man, I know it's Christmas, but want to see some baseball this summer? You know,
right?
You like that shit. It's 7 months away. Let's do that. Okay. High five. Merry Christmas.
High five. Hey, and the high five, that was your second present. So you know.
Right. I didn't wrap it, but it's right here and it's warm. It's ready. There you go.
It's warm. It's ready.
Shit.
Speaking of streaming services, talk about Bo Burnham. Talk about Bo.
Yeah,
Bo?
man. That was yes. Bo Burnham. What were we? So sorry. What were we?
Bo Burnham. It's his newest comedy special on Netflix. It's called Inside, and it was if you don't, if everybody doesn't know, it was shot, filmed, edited. He did all the sound. He did everything by himself, 100%. No one was involved besides him. You know what I mean? Like, it was like in a studio that, like, his own studio. Like, it looked like it was like in his backyard. You know, yeah. I might be mistaken about that detail, but it's in his studio. It took him over a year to make, and he's just like, you could tell he's going crazy.
Yes.
Like, you could tell he's losing it a little bit, like like, and that's what was great about it. And you could just see him slowly getting a little bit more
Right.
and yeah, I just have like a lot of respect for him because I'll be honest, like I always knew who he was and heard little things from it, and I never like had an opinion on him. I was never a fan, but I was never like, oh, I don't like him. I was just never had an opinion. And then I saw this and I was like, this is one of the most amazing things. Like, and I use that word like correctly. It was amazing to me.
Right.
To me, it was, this is, if you want to really use the word genius and like mean it, like I think what he made was genius. Like it was great. You know, the fact that he did everything on his own, you know, lighting, like audio, film, writing, performing it all on his own. Never without doing a lot. Now without ever doing some of those things before, you know, it's great.
I'm jealous. I would say that I have a lot of things. There's a lot of cool things about that we honestly, I watched most of it this morning, so it was fresh. And I've took some notes because some shit really got me just from an entertainment standpoint. Because now that I think of it, like you, when I'm watching something, I can't help but think other things. So I spent the whole time watching it like, is this it? Like, I know he's got a shitload of money. Like, is this where he lives? Like a fucking 1 bedroom? Like, this looks like like, that's just how I can't help it. I was just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
the whole time I'm like, damn, I was like, and then towards the end, he made a reference to the small door. And until that point, I didn't realize like that it was a small door to the built, I don't know. And they're like, holy shit, this guy's like really tall. So like the whole time he's singing and doing all this really intelligent shit, I'm just like, fuck, that guy's tall. ADD like a motherfucker, man. It's like he needs to clean this apartment though. Like, how did it get so dirty? Like, I mean, he's gonna start a stove fire. He has electronics on his stove. Like, this isn't good. Why does he have it? Like, that's how I think. So you could just show me footage of you doing something and put it on mute, and I'm still just gonna ask myself a bunch of questions. But in between my bouts of ADD, I was also picking up on some of the shit that he had said. Now, I have seen Bo Burnham before. All I know is I'm not crazy about it when someone says, you got to watch this comedian. And then they pull up their computer and they make you watch it. And you're like, dude, I just came over here to buy a bag of drugs. I really don't fucking.
I don't really want it. Yeah.
But you're doing it anyway. And I watched him like in that setting. And I was like, fuck, this guy's really smart. And I'm over there Googling half the words he used. I'm like, fuck, I don't know, whatever. It sounds really good. And it's just when he was younger, it's 10 years ago, he's on his piano and he's just like doing his thing in his house, I guess, wherever he was. And it was great. I have not watched him at all until I saw, anyway, started watching this. Right. And god damn, the kid is smart, like really fucking smart. And yes, he may be losing his shit, but honestly, like, I didn't pick up on it. Like, I didn't pick up on that he was like, I couldn't tell if he was acting or if he was really losing his shit, because he was able to take both and make it was a finished product. So whether it was true insanity that he just pulls, it's just part of him anyway. I think what it didn't seem crazy to me. It seemed like this guy's really fucking good at what he's doing. Like, this is really good. And the insanity all played into it. It fit really well. Yeah. It was definitely like, he's like, this is what I got jealous about. He's like, I'm stuck in my fucking house. I'm going to make a special. So he had something to do for a whole year.
Yeah.
None of us did unless we kept working. And this guy's like, fuck this. I'm going to flip this shit on its ear and I'm going to come out a winner on the end of this. Like, that's a really rare opportunity. And instead of being depressed and not doing anything, he made this shit. It took him a year, but fuck, pandemic's still going on. So good for you, dude. I hate fucking smart people who get away with shit like that. It's like, god damn it. I didn't do anything. I mean, no offense, we started this. I mean, yeah, but I mean, not that. He figured out how to do lighting. He did a lighting cross on his, I was like, god damn it. Like,
he figured out how to do all of it by himself, and like with just buying things probably off the internet or going to the local, whatever. And there was like little things that like I would consider like tricks that he did. Like at the beginning of it, he had a headlamp lamp on,
Yeah.
and then he had a disco ball, and he was singing, and every once in a while he'd just look up like this and point the light at the disco ball. It's like a little trick, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't necessarily, it was like more smart than it was than know to do that than it was like he bought something that would do that, you
Right.
know?
Like he was
But it
using his
goes,
fucking brain
yeah.
power through a lot of
He's
this
like
shit.
and that's why I'm like, it's like a trick. And that song when he's like talking about turning 30 and he's like in his
Yeah.
underwear and like and he has his hand behind his back and he has his phone, but he has that app where it just turns your whole screen into a flashlight where it's just bright.
Oh.
And then on the snare hit on the beat, and every time the snare hit, he would flash his phone. He would like, you know, like would so he would doom 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 psh, doom, doom, and he would kind of pull it out like this, the doom doom psh, the doom doom psh, like or however the beat went,
Right.
and it was like a cool. And then and during the chorus, he would like take his phone and put it around his head like that with the flashlight on,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it back quickly on beat, and then do that. Like I just thought it was like those little tricks, like he figured out on his own and just did them. It was
Yeah.
like he could have bought a light that was like sound sensitive, and every time on beat it would flash. He could have got one of those. You know, he could have got a light when the chorus happened that would just like spin, you know, on like, but he did it himself is what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah.
I just
Brilliant.
think knowing that and coming up with that on your own is really cool.
Right.
And that's what, coming back to the word genius, that's what makes it genius to me, is him doing these little tricks where he could go buy something and it would do it for him, but he's just doing it on his own, you know. And I'm just like, that's fucking genius. That's awesome.
And then
Like it's
right.
just, and like that song, White Woman's Instagram.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm glad you brought that. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite song. That and
Just a white
that
girl on.
that song and Jeffrey Bezos is probably my two favorite songs.
Didn't he do? Yeah. Didn't he
He
do
did
like two songs? Yeah.
two Bezos songs, but like the white girl's Instagram had a lot of that video. That one had a lot of work. It seems like he
Oh,
had
the
to.
video. Yeah. Like he had himself surrounded in different, like he was live in an Instagram
Yeah,
photo. Like, yeah.
like fucking uh, balloons falling, and like I'm sure he had to time that, or maybe have his wife drop the balloons or something. You know,
Right.
like standing in front of like an image with pumpkins and shit, like and
Or all this shit written all over his face.
yeah, yeah.
Like that was like, okay, you had help. I was like, seriously, like you did everything on your own, but if you got that right, like, I mean, I'm just saying, I was like, you had to have help with that. Like,
Well,
that's
I mean, yeah,
crazy. But it was
he
really
is
good.
very. I'm sure his wife came in and like helped, did something. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, but you can't help. I couldn't help but think like that. And then one thing that threw me off the whole thing, and nothing to do with the videos, was the dresser. I don't know why, but other than the top drawer, which at one point he finally, like for me, that was my like, yes. When he went into the dresser, he pulled out the electronics equipment. I was like, that's what's in the dresser. Because the whole time I'm like, does he really live like this? Is this his house? Like I couldn't get around that. I'm like, I could live there. Look, he's got a kitchen, he's got a couch, he's got a dresser that's his clothes. And then it was like, but maybe it's not. I was like, he's a fucking millionaire. Why is he doing this? So when he
Right.
started pulling shit out of the dresser, I was like, okay. All right. Okay. He doesn't really live there. All right.
Well, it is his studio. It's
Sure.
his.
Oh yeah.
You
And
know
it's
what I
really,
think it is though? My opinion is he does live in there from time to time to like seclude himself and
to
be
be
creative.
artistic.
So like I bet you he does wake up and like make something on the stove for breakfast and has like a, you know, like a pull out couch or some shit and has some, because I bet you he's like, he seems like the kind of guy, especially for this special, he just had to be alone and secluded and
Sure.
feel that for a while, you know?
Right. And he did all that right there. And that's what I like about different songs. And I could see, like, think of it this way. It took him a year. Let's just say I didn't count, but let's say there's 12 songs. So one 3 to 4 minute song took a month.
Yeah.
That
On it. Yeah.
And that's, imagine spending like, I don't know, 8 hours a day doing that. Like that's a lot of fucking work. So that's,
Yeah.
we're seeing a finished product, but obviously he started from scratch. He started with an idea. And then all that, like you said, White Girl's Instagram, that probably did take a month or more. Like just to find like, because you have to think all this shit up. You can't just start doing that. You can't just pull, you know what I mean? You had to think all
Yeah.
this shit up first. That takes a long fucking time. And you got to screw up a bunch to get there.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, see,
that's
that's the thing is like he. It's not just writing the songs and then
no,
performing them,
that's
because he
one
still
part.
had to perform them perfectly, and like if he were performing them live, like he saw the do them good. Write the song, then write the music, like the lyrics, then the music, and then put those together and learn how to play them. And then when he's done doing that, he had to make the video himself. He had to do all, like, it's just like there's a lot to it when you break it all down. Because usually when you make a music video, you hire people to do that for you,
Oh
and then
yeah.
they have people to edit and set and do the sound and do like wardrobe and all that shit. And he did it all. He did it all by
Great.
himself. It's fucking just, it's incredible that he did that just in a room by himself in a year.
But the part of the genius in it is that he chose the pandemic to do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where he was at before the pandemic or what the hell project he was getting ready to work on. I don't know because I don't follow him anyway. Do
He
you?
stopped performing live because it gave
He
live.
said that in his act. He said that in this. He's like, he actually said, I stopped performing because it gave me tremendous anxiety.
And that's real. That's something that was a real thing. Like it gave him really bad anxiety. And if you look at it, like he hasn't had a special in a while.
That's what I thought. So it was like, just, I don't know. It's just like, damn, I haven't heard about you in a while. And you just chose the pandemic to do this. And I mean, it would be harder to do it if there wasn't any of this shit going on. You wouldn't have a reason to shove yourself into that. It wouldn't be as relevant. It'd be different, but
Right.
yeah, it was really the time. Part of the genius I see in it was the timing of him deciding to do this through the pandemic. Like, sure, it took you a year, but it's 2 fucking years this shit's been going on. So good for you, man. Like, that's great.
Yeah. Well, the
You know?
fact him, like, that's all, like him taking a year to do it is all part of the story. It's all part of the
Right.
whole thing of it, because it's like he had to do it himself. So it's like, yeah, it took him a year because did the whole fucking thing. Like, no, he took everyone else that would have had a job doing that. He did it himself.
Right.
So
But imagine how much shit he learned. He taught all that shit to himself. It makes me feel like a lazy bag of dicks. Like, I'm just like, I don't teach myself anything. I don't want to. Fuck a dishwasher. Let them fix it. Like,
yeah,
he's figured. It's like, God damn, dude.
it's
Good for
like
you. Shit.
yeah, it's like running a small business and not having a lot of money, but being the owner and being like, well, the sink broke and I don't have the money to call someone, so I have to learn how to do that.
Right.
I have to learn how to put the piping in the wall and do all that shit. So it's like that. It's like I have to learn how to do this all on my own, so do it.
Right. Hell yeah, man. There's a few things that I wrote down that, I mean, just let me see here. A couple of notes. It was funny enough for me to make, let me see. FaceTiming with my mom. I don't know
Yeah.
why that shit got me, but it really, he's just so fucking clever. And then the other thing was Sacco.
Oh yeah. Sacco, right, right.
Sacco is his other, like, that's the shit that's really in his head. Like, that's the shit that his wife or whoever he lives with has to hear all the time because he's really pissed off. Like, that's every comic, most people I know that are mad or upset about something. That Sacco thing when he goes on a fucking tangent and then he's like, I'm gonna punish you if you don't shut the fuck up. I just love that. He may have been losing his mind there, but I could see doing that at any time in my I was like, that's fucking great. And then he pulls it off. He's like, no, let me finish. He's like, oh, my jaw, I can't talk. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You better not have neighbors. Like, this is bad.
Oh, that's great.
It was really, and then if you look later in the move in the special, the socks hanging from the drawer, like it's just hanging like out of the
Just
drawer.
hanging, yeah.
It's just hanging there. Get the fuck out of here. It was really, honestly, genius is a good word, but I don't say this like that often. That was really funny. Like it was, I genuinely laughed. As a person who likes to make people laugh, I have a hard time laughing at anybody else's jokes. But that was, it had me. Like 9 o'clock in the morning, I was laughing my ass off. That was fucking funny. Sacco, I really like Sacco. That might have been my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Because the way he did it, I was like, this is really fucking funny.
It was great. That was definitely
Sacco's using words I didn't understand. I'm like, shit, this guy's smart. Like his sock's smarter than I am. Fuck.
and that's another thing that was like he had to do all by himself. He had to like do that twice, like he had to like move his hand to a recording of his voice.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
later.
He was doing that for hours. He was doing this shit for hours.
Yeah. It was just
Yeah, I would like to know what happened in one take and what took like a month. If the Sacco thing took a month, I couldn't imagine.
Right. Like it's like, oh, I did it in one take. Or it's like, dude, I've had this sock on my hand for 2 months. Like, what the fucking
like he comes in the house, be like, is it time for dinner? I just finished Sacco. But like, don't even touch me if your hand smells like that fucking sock.
Yeah, right.
You tricked me once, it's not happening again. And then one more thing that it got me, I just wrote this down. This is me reacting to my reaction video.
Oh yeah.
At one point, was that the name of a vid? I don't remember. I just wrote that down. It really got me.
Yeah, I don't know, because like I've been listening.
Yeah, it was something he said because it was in one of his songs. Like, this is me reacting to my reaction video. Oh no, that's right. He played that 1 or 2 minute song.
Yeah.
And it looped into, then he's like, okay, now I'm reacting to my reaction. And it went in a loop, and it went in a loop, and then it went in a loop, and he was reacting to the reaction of his reaction. I was like, holy shit.
And like the screen had like kind of had like different screens in it. Like
stacks on it.
A smaller screen of him reacting, and another smaller one, and another, like it kept on getting like, it was like a kaleidoscope.
Really fucking smart, man. That was really good. That was
dude, it's just it's great. It's one of the, I don't know, like without not being like a big fan of his before, and then all of a sudden him doing one special, and then I'm like, all right, I'm a big fan. Like, you got me. Like, that was just like a big hook. I'm just like, you pulled me in with that. Like,
right. And like I said, a lot of the genius in it, in my opinion, especially since he had stopped doing it, on stage and hadn't heard from him in a while, for him to be like, I'm going to take this time and do a project and do what he did in his little apartment or whatever, and do it all by himself and all that shit. He's 30 fucking years old, or right around that age, and he's coming up with shit like that. It's like, what the fuck are you going to do next? Like, right. I'm in. What do you got? Like, it's going to be something different. It's like a concept. You're like, okay, the world's fucked up right now, so check this out. I like that. He didn't ignore the fact that this is going on. He took advantage of it, and you haven't heard from him in a while. He's like, not only am I still relevant, I'm fucking on it. Like, yeah, you're crazy as shit. I love this.
You know what yeah. Do you know what I liked about it is another thing I liked about it was he made it clear that it's called Inside. It's all based on like we're like quarantine and having to be inside, and we're all going crazy. And he made that apparent that he's going kind of crazy too. But one thing I liked is he never said COVID.
No.
He never said quarantine.
Nope.
He never brought it up.
Good point.
It was like he never brought up COVID-19 or vaccines or anything like that. It was just, he just was talking about
him,
how he was feeling, and about how we were probably all feeling. So he never was like, COVID and blah, blah. Like, so it never got monotonous, because you got to think every comic on stage right now that's going up has a COVID-19 joke in quarantine, and they're all talking about it. So he's talking about it without talking about it, basically.
Yeah, which is cool. It's
easier
to,
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, he never brought up COVID.
And the
Or
brilliance in that is that it can make this somewhat timeless or last longer, because you don't doesn't have to mean it doesn't mean anything. You don't have to, it's not a pandemic special or any of that bullshit. You're not going to watch it and hear about, be reminded of that time. The only thing that would be like time stamped would be the technology that he's talking about, like that kind of thing, like
right.
FaceTiming. Which I mean, that'll so. And long story short, I mean, what I'm getting at is that this shit will is gonna it's gonna be relevant a lot longer. Like people can
Yeah.
watch this 30 years from now and still fucking should still be able to pick up on most of it, and it won't be, and it'll only be like a side note to say, oh, he did this during the pandemic, but he's not telling you that. He's like you
Right.
just said, he's not saying, oh, this is I'm doing this because of the pandemic. He just took that fucking time and said, screw being depressed and gaining weight. I'm doing this.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what he did, and it really, like I guess from at my age, I'm just like getting to that point where I'm like, I don't know how to do much. So I'm like, that's pretty cool that you can sit around and learn all that. Like, I was just jealous. I'm like, look at all this shit that he has. And the fact that he's messy. That always gets to me. I would have taken me 2 years to do that special, because everything that I did, every chord that I had, all of it, because I'm fucking crazy. I would have it all wrapped up. There'd be rubber bands, and I'd be worried in the footage that if it looked like shit. I'd be like, this ain't gonna work. Like, I need a carpet to throw over all, and he's just like, I'm an animal. And he's just like, the
Yeah.
keyboard's like standing like this, like in the corner, or the next one, it's on the oven or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? When he
Well,
changed, when he just moved it, like, yeah, it just fucked me up. It wasn't like,
yeah.
it was professionally unprofessional.
Yeah, it's like going into an art studio and you see someone that painted all these great murals and stuff, but they didn't clean up, and
Yeah,
their
yeah. There's
paintbrushes
paint
are
cans and
everywhere.
shit everywhere.
They're like a dirty easel and stuff. And it's like, no, it's kind of refreshing because it's like, no, you see him working. You see that person,
Yeah.
they're working, and you could tell. Like, like it's like going into a restaurant and then walking back in the kitchen during service. That's not going to look clean. There's fucking French fries and a half a head of lettuce on the ground because it's busy, and that person's just like, fuck, and just like, you're not gonna, you don't have time to sweep. You're fucking, you're in the weeds. Like, so it's like, it's kind of refreshing in a way. Like, you're seeing like a real person work.
Hell yeah, man. That was really good. I like that a lot. That was
Yeah, man.
funny.
I enjoyed it. I've watched it 3 times now, and I have listened to the album on iTunes.
Right on. Well, for any of you that watched that or just heard the last 20 minutes of this, we're talking about just kidding. If you're still listening and you haven't seen it, really do recommend it. I highly recommend checking it out. I'm someone who can't sit around. Honestly, I really don't like watching comedy. That sounds crazy, but usually I don't. I don't like songs. I don't like this kind of stuff. I do not go in for this. If you bought me a ticket for this, I probably, before watching this, I wouldn't do it. Um, Definitely would recommend it. If he's not performing live, so I'm not going to see him live, but I would recommend watching this shit. Sit down with your lady, your people, check out Bo Burnham's Inside Out. Genuinely funny, genuinely worth the time. See what you find in it that you find interesting, because there's a lot. One thing I wanted to say to that. I felt like I was watching a doc. I couldn't tell if I was watching a documentary. It felt like I was watching a documentary, stand up, because he sits on a stool. Like, honestly, he kind of pulls it off, and then just like music videos. It was like
Yeah.
all three. And whenever he did something next, you didn't know, is this like does this feel like a documentary? Is he going to go into a song? Kept you guessing the whole fucking ride.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful chaos. And then at the end, the closer was great. I was like, how's he going to close this out? And of course he goes out. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's yeah. It's great. It's worth watching inside, and it's yeah. Check it out. So
Yeah,
what do you got
absolutely.
next week?
Anyway, right before that, nice job, my friend. Good fucking pick. Honestly, I like that. We usually do music. That was a good choice. With that being said, I didn't pick any videos or anything like that. I was in a pissed off mood today, and something came on a Spotify list that put me in a good mood. So I figured maybe other people be in a good mood if they heard this shit on a hot ass day too. So I picked Steely Dan's Pretzel Logic. I thought we talked about it. We haven't. I fucking love this record.
I'm gonna
So
have to write that down because I'm not gonna remember.
yeah, this is not gym music. This is definitely like, check it. Fuck it. Just check it out. Steely Dan's Pretzel Logic. The cover actually has someone selling soft pretzels in New York City on a cold ass day. It's a black and white cover. Can't miss it. And if it starts to sound familiar, it's because Steely Dan basically just made a shitload of hits when they wrote music. So check that out. Play it when you want to. Hope you enjoy it. But anyway, dude, once again, great pick this week. Great to hang out with you. Hope everybody enjoys the show. Tell people if you like it. We appreciate it.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Leave a comment if you want to hear anything and you want to hear us talk about it, whether it's a stand-up special, just tell who it's by, the name of the special, and same thing with music, because that's largely what we do. So who the musician is, or band, and the album. Drop us a line on YouTube, comment, or go to our Instagram page, Titfu69. Drop us a line there, and thanks for watching.
Absolutely. Till next week, kids. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.